A very good afternoon to you folks. Today is July 23rd, 2010. This is Tony coming to you from the great state of Texas, and this is Social Commentary. A lot has happened in the last approximately 36 hours, let alone 21 hours ago. President Obama signed the bill into law that reestablished the unemployment benefits that would start sending out checks to the nearly 3 million people that have been without money for the last nearly 60 days. You stop and think about who did that to you. 40 Republican senators stopped that bill from going forward. Had it not been for the sake of the one senator who died, and I'm sorry I don't remember his name right now, and the person that came in to replace him, who gave us that 60th vote, and that you could find out by going on Google and checking it out for yourself, we'd probably still be fighting that situation today. And why did they do that? Why did these 40 senators want to hold that up from you? Because it wasn't paid for? Oh my gosh! How many other things in this country has the Congress not paid for? This nation has a $13 trillion national debt. What's $34 billion more? That's pocket change for President Obama when he goes out for an evening. Let's be realistic here. That was a ridiculous measure. That was a ridiculous statement by these 40 senators. What it was a bunch of bull crap. It was little senators, 40 of them, pouting, going, we don't want to do it your way. We're going to do it our way. And in the process, you, the American people, got hung up. Who couldn't pay their rent? Who couldn't feed their kids? How many of you had your electricity turned off? How many of you lost your homes? Well, you have those 40 senators to thank for that. Some of them, such as Senator Orrin Hatch, who I'm sorry, I keep coming back to him, but he was the one that made up the most ridiculous thing of saying that let's drug test all of these people that are receiving unemployment compensation to make sure that they're not spending it on illicit drugs. My goodness gracious. The little piddly amount that most of us were getting for unemployment barely keeps us alive, let alone buy even a little thing of illicit drugs. Thanks a lot, Orrin. You're an idiot. And I say it to you right to your face. I have no problem with it. You're old, you're an idiot, and you actually need to be put out to pasture. We're coming up with thoughts like that. Senator McConnell from Kentucky, another high unemployment state. He was one of those people that voted against it. Senator Croker from Tennessee. My own Senator Ensign from Nevada voted against it. Nevada leading the pack today of the most people that are unemployed in any particular state. Senator Lugar from Indiana. Remember in November, these 40 senators that made you wait, that caused you the problems that you had. It's their faults. We need to put blame where blame is supposed to go. How many times do we turn the other cheek? Well, we can't do it anymore. We have senators that are making a career of the Senate. Our president's only allowed to stay for 8 years. Maximum. With the exception of FDR, there's never been a president in our latter times that has not stayed less than or more than 8 years' time. But yet senators are spending their entire life. They're dying in the Senate. My goodness gracious. There was a senator who died at the Alamo, Davy Crockett, I believe, who stated that it was time for certain senators even then to get out of office and let fresh blood, fresh minds, fresh thoughts come in. Well, I speak passionately about that. It is time. It is time we get these old farts out of there. I know. I'm 54 years old. Some people call me an old fart too. But I'll tell you one thing. I got a heck of a lot better sense head on my shoulder than some of these idiotic senators that are out there. I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. I really am. But I point out to you a quote from our very own Declaration of Independence. It's a quote that a lot of you know. You heard it in a movie, National Treasure, when our character of Benjamin Gates stood over the Declaration when speaking to Riley. about when a long train of abuses and usurpations pursuing invariably the same object evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism. It is their right. That's you. It is your right. It is your duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for our future security. Perhaps maybe when you read it in the light of a present tense, it's a little bit different. We're talking about a document that's well over 200 years old. But it is time. It is time for a change. It's only going to happen by you. The great state of Texas that I live in right now is talking about seceding from the Union. I don't know how I feel about that. There are times when I think it's a good idea. There are times when I'm not too sure. I will leave that up to cooler heads. But you, my American friends, that are working, that are unemployed, that are listening to this, it's time for you to do something. Me too. It's time for us to go out and make a change. It's time for us to tell these 40 senators that you screwed up, and we're not going to let you know that we're not going to forget about it. Something like that. So remember in November when the time comes to vote for these folks, and you can find them, just Google them, get on the internet, type in the 40 senators who opposed the unemployment bill. You'll get a listing of them and the states that they come from. Make a note of it. And come November, if they're up for election, vote them out. And try to find a fresh, new mind to go in there and replace them. On another day, we're going to talk more about this. One of my favorite writers, Tom Clancy, wrote a book, I believe it was The Tale of the Dragon, in which his main character, Jack Ryan, a very common guy, for the most part, becomes president of the United States by no fault of his own. And he ends up having to replace the entire Congress. And he calls for the common people to come in. The farmers, the factory workers, the people who literally are the country, to come in and make the new laws. Maybe that's what we need. Maybe we need some common people to come in and make new laws. Whatever the case, America, she's a great country. I fought for her, and I would do it again. Thanks for listening to Social Commentary for July 23rd, 2010. This is Tony. I'll see you on another video.